Oui, tu peux y aller.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for connecting to this webinar organized by Mov'eo about smart cities. I am Philippe Gicquel, the founder of Silforces Engineering, and I will explain this morning what happens in Mov'eo about smart cities. In Mov'eo, there is a group of enterprises that is called AI for Cities and that cares for smart cities. These companies are Softeam, Intempora, and Silforces Engineering. I will try to illustrate through several examples of projects what Mov'eo does for smart cities. So smart cities and Mov'eo, this is a natural story, as smart cities are a lot about mobility, and Mov'eo is about mobility, as you know. So it's quite natural that that Mov'eo addresses smart cities through this group called AI for Cities. What we can understand at the moment is that the environmental pressure accelerates the need for innovation, and we have on the market new technologies that allow innovation. The IoT, the big data, the artificial intelligence, the electrical mobility, they all offer a set of powerful means to invent new services and sustainable mobility for people and goods. In the largest cities, the mobility is reaching what we call the pervasive stage. It means that anywhere, anytime, you can find a solution for your mobility, and you don't need to own your mobility device. If you have a car, a bike, a scooter, you can find it around you. You don't need to own it. But what is true in big cities is not the case in the mid-sized cities or countryside. And in these areas, we think that the car's ownership will remain the most performant answer to mobility needs of people for a long time still. So this is the situation that we, well, the understanding of Mov'eo on the needs of mobility and what happens with the smart cities at the moment. To illustrate this, I will show several projects that I've chosen to show what work is done by Mov'eo members, by AI for Cities members around this topic. So the first project is about logistics. It's called Square Miles, and it proposes to combine some electrical mobile stores and bikes to deliver goods in the center of towns in a carbon-free and efficient way. The second project I will illustrate is Green Light. It proposes to control traffic lights and car speeds, or give recommendations to the drivers for car speeds, and to control this in a way that will reduce stops at red lights, and in this way smooth the accelerations and decelerations and reduce pollution and carbon emissions. The third project is autonomous valet parking. Autonomous valet parking applications are wide. One of these applications could be that when you go with your car to your favorite train station, to let it in order to go in the center of the town, you could just stop in front of the train station and your car would go and park alone, saving you time. And then you can call your car back when you are in the train and know when you arrive at the train station. Um, the fourth project is called Vous. It's a project about energy optimization in buildings, and the combination of energy optimization for the building and for the to charge your electric vehicle near your building. This this application will guarantee that you can get carbon-free power to charge your electric cars and optimize the cost of the power in your office building. So let's start with square miles. The last mile delivery is a big problem in large cities on several aspects. On the economics first, this is a tough job to deliver goods in cities. The margins are very low, and this is a market with many subcontractors, and at the same time the growth is very big, and with the sales on internet that are growing very fast. The second aspect is that it's very hard to be efficient in this job to deliver goods in the center of towns because all the traffic jams, and so this is every time growing, and we see on the picture on the right side that many in the traffic jams you have many trucks and cars that are just there to deliver goods. And the third aspect is that there is some environment pressure and social aspects that will push to change the system, because we will get some low emission areas in the center of towns, because the diesel cars will be banned from center of towns. And there is also social pressure to improve the condition of the delivery men. All this has to be tackled in the next years, and this is why logistics for town centers need to be reinvented. So the proposition that we are developing now is called Square Miles, and it mixes the use of electric cars and bikes to deliver at the center of town, and we'll show you a short movie on the proposition. The principle is that the storage is a mobile storage, where some bikes, delivery men with bikes will get the goods, and then they will deliver for the last mile the goods to the customers, and this system can be multiplied in every places, every towns. So this is what is the proposition. So it's innovative, efficient, and sustainable. There is the use of artificial intelligence to gather the data, materialize the flows, and find the most efficient delivery round trip for every actors in the system. And there is the use of a neutral platform that will be offered to all the carriers to mutualize their data, and also the ability to mutualize the logistic flows thanks to this platform offered to several carriers. Sorry, this is this way. So how does it look like? Square Miles is the application program that will use this shared data platform and leverage this data to offer the service to the carriers or industrial companies that would need to deliver in the center of towns. So we can have flows pooling and optimize the deliveries in this way. And we will get CO2 reduction thanks to both the bike system that is CO2 free and the electric cars that will be invested. The advantage is that you need to invest less cars or trucks than compared to a situation where you would like to replace all your delivery cars by electric cars. So this lowers the needed investment to have a carbon-free solution a lot. The status of the project is well. This is the development is ongoing. Before the end of the summer, we will have the ability to run real data in the application and show to carriers in a virtual world simulation the delivery proposition compared to their round trip that they have done with the real data, and we can show the difference in time and resources and the difference in carbon emissions with the proposition if the delivery had been done with a square mile solution and process. At the moment, we use a model-based approach to get these simulations, and it's interesting because it gives us detailed specifications of each part of the system, and when we have the approval of potential customers of carriers, we will be able to get a very short time to market for the final development of the application, as we already have all the specifications. I think we might keep the questions for the end. I'm not sure, but you can ask questions on the chat, and I will answer to the questions maybe at the end. I will continue on the other projects. So the second project is called Green Lights, and the topic is to prove that with an intelligent control of traffic lights and vehicle speed, it is possible to reduce CO2 and pollution emissions. So this is a research project. There has been several projects worldwide around such topic, and this is a more research project to learn some of the artificial intelligence technologies with students. So the first step was clearly to get the state of the art, and we managed to get some data source from TomTom, and we focused the study on a special place in Issy-les-Moulineaux near Paris to just choose some place for the numerical experience. So the students have done have written the state of the art, and have looked at the technologies that they would like to choose to optimize the traffic, and they have chosen reinforcement learning as their first choice to try the optimization, and they have implemented this technology on a simulator, on open source simulator called Sumo. So you can see here some results they got to optimize the traffic, and you can see, if you have a close look, that the result is not fully conclusive. They have clearly optimized the traffic flow for the main axis, north-south axis, but on the secondary roads, you see that some of the cars are quite stuck. So we consider that it still needs to get improved. What we have learned in this work with the students is that the reinforcement learning technologies are quite tricky to tune. The reward function that is used should be simple at the start, and if you start with too complex functions with too many parameters, you get a hard time to make the calculations and understand where it leads you. So the decision has been made on this project to try some other very simple reward function on a simple case, one crossing, and so this has proven better results. We want to go further in simplification, and we will try to have some direct optimizing approach, and come back to reinforcement learning in the second time. So this is where we are in the project at the moment, and we have someone in-house working on this direct approach, and see where we go with the optimization. I come to the third illustration now, the third project. So I said the cars will remain one very needed device for people who are not living in the center of town, and they might need to use their car outside the town and let it somewhere to be able to go inside the town. As I said, there will be more and more restrictions for cars in big towns. The fact is that more and more cars produced nowadays have self-driving capabilities. These capabilities are used for safety functions, like emergency braking, for instance, or are used for comfort functions. For instance, the ability of the car to park itself, do the maneuver itself. The car produced also have connectivity capabilities. So with all this, the bet is that in the future, many cars produced would only need a piece of software to connect to an intelligent parking lot and be able to park alone in an area that is predisposed for that. That is prepared for autonomous parking. So, and as I said already, cars will keep a central role in mobility, and so there will be some interesting applications for such autonomous parking. So I will illustrate here where we are in the project, and also the design process that we use, that we call agile systems engineering, and you will see where we are on the feature. So we have illustrated on a small scale physical mock-up the project, and just very fast to show you how we design every other project use the same design tool and system to just this is a model-based approach, as I said, that allows both to simulate the results and get the specifications for the system at the end. So, well, it goes very fast. It's just an illustration. When we have these diagrams, we are able to generate code and simulate in a virtual environment the result of the diagrams. So here we show how it happens for valet parking. And after that step, when we are happy with the simulation, we can go to the generation of specifications and also then the implementation, as you have seen on the start, where the small mock-up was parking alone in a parking lot. So the status of the project at the moment, as you have seen, we have a proof of concept on a table. What we are looking at is developing the business case. It includes the ability to talk with OEMs, automotive OEMs, on the money that they would spare on their own production parks, because in every plant you have people moving the cars around after they have been produced, and when they wait to be put on trucks or trains to be delivered. And so there is money to spare there, and this is something to include in the business case. If we manage to arrive to a strong enough business case, then we would need to convince automotive OEMs to put such a feature in their roadmap, so that then the market of parking lots being equipped would open. The last illustration now is this optimized system for energy efficiency. So the project optimizes the production and use of power at a local scale. So this is the scale of a building or a group of buildings. And it does this by using some devices like photovoltaic panels to produce green power, some device to store energy. So there is a storage system in the middle of the proposition, and it uses algorithms built on history of consumption, weather predictions, and power costs to optimize the delivery of power to the building and to the electric vehicles chargers. So the power can come from the storage system or from the grid, but there is a management of all this, so that you can, for instance, guarantee to that you get carbon-free electricity for your cars, for instance, if this is your target, or any other needs that you would have can be programmed and delivered. Here is a short simulation of a scenario, just to show you where we are in the design. So it's something that is shown to show that we can experiment on this system. So there is someone that is experimenting new control on the storage system. So in the middle you have the storage system, and the storage system sends data to the cloud and gets control from the cloud And you can see that, for instance, in this scenario, the total consumption with the system is 1/7 of, I mean, the consumption coming from the grid is 1/7 that compared to what it would have been without the system. This is thanks to the power that has been stored coming from photovoltaic panels and so on. So we can play plenty of scenarios and show how people can optimize the use of the power and the price of the electricity too, because you can get electricity from the grid at the hours where the price is the lowest. Okay. So the status of the project. So in this project, the partner is Genaris. This is the company who launched this project, and they are implementing the concept in their brand new building in Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines. And this first building equipped will both be a proof of concept and a prototype that will allow experimentations and that will allow marketing on the concept in order to be able to deploy it more widely by showing the advantages of the system on a real prototype. So this is it for the illustrations. A word on the group of companies now, AI for Cities. So first, the fact that grouping is something efficient for small and medium companies to come together and develop projects like that would be something not possible alone for small companies, and this is one of the targets in Mov'eo to create these groups and allow innovation through the complementarity of the companies in the group. The joint proposal to answer to bigger companies, to their requests, to their needs, is something that we can do and will not be able to do alone. So the complementarities are clearly the important thing to look at when we group the companies, and we get a more complete value chain with all the skills of all the companies, and we are also able to share the costs and address bigger projects. So the last slide and the conclusion before the questions is that in this group, AI for Cities, we need more skills. I've not given a detailed description of each company, but so Salesforce Engineering is working on the early stage of the project and on the system architecture and definition. Intempora is working more at the later stage in the projects during testing and during operations, and is working much on sensors and data and use of data. And Softeam is developing large software for several applications, so it's in the development area. But we also need some other skills, for instance, on prototyping, on plenty of topics, and so we are really looking forward to have other companies applying to bring their skills in the group. We need skills also in the artificial intelligence, for instance, and so on. There is the proposition of Mov'eo to organize a workshop that will help to define together how these skills could match, and to also have some kind of brainstorming on other joint projects that we could launch together with the companies that would apply for AI for cities, and we could present this later in the year to just really have projects launched that had been defined during this workshop. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. It's time for questions now, and so I will have a look at the questions. So I see a first question on the traffic management, and so there is a document on the question is have you what did you get from the state of the art? What are the other projects ongoing? So as I said, there are plenty of projects that were done in the past or are ongoing on this, and how the originality of this project done with the students is that we want to estimate what we can get by controlling both the signals, the lights, and the cars. Many projects focus on controlling the signals only, and here the bet was to say, okay, if we give to the drivers some speed recommendation, to say if you reach the crossing at the green, if you want to reach the crossing at green light, you need to drive 35 kilometers per hour, for instance. The bet is that after a while the driver will respect this recommendation, as this is quite comfortable to not to have to stop at the red light. So this is why we wanted to try to optimize the flows by looking both at the lights control, signal controls, and cars controls. Plus the fact that maybe in some days, I don't know how many years, the cars will become autonomous and drive by themselves, and so we could completely control their speed. So if you are interested in a more detailed, this state of the art, this document that has been done by the students could be public, and if you send us your email address, I could send the document that they have prepared on this. On the valet parking, who are your customers? Tier 1s or OEMs, or so until now we don't have customers yet, but I think we need the OEMs to be involved. Sorry, I will stop the share because we need the OEMs to be involved so that the cars are equipped with the piece of software that is needed. The customers, there is several stakeholders, let's say, that would be the people in charge with the infrastructures, the parking lots, and these would be maybe the customers for the system that would equip the parking. and allow to the cars to park alone. So we need to work on both sides, on the side of the OEM and their tier ones maybe, and on the side of the infrastructure owners. On the project on traffic control, what is the next step after simulation? So as you understand, we are not yet we have not yet reached the point in simulation where we say, okay, we are happy now, we go to the next step. But when we reach this step and we are happy with the simulations, then we would apply to towns or places where we could experiment. So the next step would be to try to experiment in real life by applying to towns. Towns are quite fond of experimentations very often, and so we would like to go to this step if we are happy with the results of simulation that we get. More in general, what is the strategy of positioning of this group of enterprises? To exist on topics that are where the big companies are dominant. Well, I think that we don't have all the means that big companies have, but when it is about innovation, small companies can bring agility and short time to market and solutions that are difficult to develop in big companies. So there is really in the innovation area some place for small companies and for groups. And groups become a lot stronger and can then compete with bigger companies. I've not given the sizes of the companies in the group at the moment, but Softeam, for instance, is a company with several hundreds of people. Intempora is smaller, but has been acquired by a bigger company, a bigger German company recently. Silforce obviously is small, but altogether we can bring in an agile way innovation faster to the market, and this can be interesting for these big companies also to be pushed by smaller. I think I have answered to main questions. Maybe we can give some few more minutes to everyone if you have questions. I hope that these illustrations gave you some good view on what can be addressed in AI for cities. I would like to encourage you again to send us some email or questions that you would have later, and get to Mov'eo also if you need to. I will. Yeah. Okay, so you have my email address anyway. You will receive the presentation, and Nadja from Mov'eo will also send you her coordinates, so you can also question her on the conditions to be a member of Mov'eo and be a member of AI for Cities if you need more details on this and how it works. Yeah, so yeah, the presentation and replay will be sent later by Nadja, and I thank you all for your attention, and I think we are good now. If you have no more questions, thank you very much, and I wish you a nice day and nice summer for all of you.